Keep 100% of your claim. G4 Claims.
If you've been hurt in a road accident that wasn't your fault, you should really talk to G4 Claims first. Unlike road accident solicitors, we don't charge you for our services, which could see you better off. To keep 100% of your compensation, have a chat with Nicole and the team. You'll be glad you did. Search online for G4 Claims.
Keep 100% of your claim. G4 Claims.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Sellik, the Thunder podcast. We're on to episode God knows what. All I do know is it is post-January window. It is pre-Celtic in the knockout rounds of the Champions League. We have a lot to catch up on after missing last week, and we've got a lot to talk about moving forward with a Scottish Cup fixture at the weekend. Champions League football, of course, ahead of that. So we'll try our best not to keep you here all day. I'm back with the lads in the G4 Claims studio. Kieran Auld, how are you doing?
Just the usual, working away, miserable winter vibes. But
It's getting lighter.
I know the day was the first glimmer of hope coming out of work, and it wasn't no pitch black, but not even overcast. It was a lovely night. Ruined by the traffic getting to Wishaw.
Well, I was going to open up the show saying that, and I completely forgot. We're actually lucky to even get in tonight, and if this podcast sees the light of day before the end of the day, I'll be stunned, because that traffic on the way in here, whoever is in charge of roadworks in South Lanarkshire, hang your head in shame. That's all I can say to that. What a mess. But an absolute travesty.
Imagine the guy that was in charge of roadworks in South Lanarkshire was an avid fan of the podcast.
Well, do your job fucking better. Dylan, on that note, hello, nice to see you.
Aye, it's happened. Good to be back.
How was your wee trip away?
I was glad to go this time, but aye, it was good. Nice to get away for the start of the year, just to see Ireland again. But aye, good to be back in the podcast.
It's always nice to have a trip, of course. Munich is booked, Kieran. We're off. We're gone.
Fortune spent.
Yep.
But hopefully Celtic don't make it a pointless trip. Hopefully we can have some faint glimmer of hope going into the away leg. But
obviously we're going to talk about that game probably in the second half of the podcast, right? But I just hope we're not travelling earlier for not doing ourselves like that.
But I'll take a book with me if that's
sitting in the Allianz cheering on Bayern in the second leg. But we are booked. It's always nice to get away at the early stage of the year, because it's a bit, I don't know, do you not feel like life's a wee bit mundane?
Until it hits like April.
Aye. I mean, my birthday's in March, which helps a wee bit, but
Kickstarts it.
Aye, but life is just, when WrestleMania happens, the year begins
as well.
It's obviously a big weekend, Super Bowl weekend as well, but nonetheless, we have Sellik to talk about, and I don't really know where to start off the day, because we did miss last week and kind of our opinions at the end of the window, and I feel like we're in a situation here, lads, where we risk being one of two things. We either risk being on the side of keeping them moaning up and moaning about things that Celtic did wrong, or you risk at the side of being happy clapping too long and saying that things weren't that bad. The reality is the window's shut. It's done. We can't do anything about that, and there's no point in over-analysing it at this stage. But I will ask your opinions on the end of the window. I'll start with you, Kieran. A lot being made of Celtic not signing a striker. Jota and Jeffrey Schlupp, the only signings, a few outgoings. Give us your summary.
I mean, before the window, I wasn't really anticipating losing Kyogo.
Aye.
I think that's the main thing. It's about, people are sort of raging at the fact we never brought in the striker, but I understand we've got the options there, but we are a couple of injuries away from it being a problem, and obviously the way I think like that, and injuries might happen, but the squad is a bit thin in that striker position, which I don't think anybody on either side of the argument now can sort of dispute. But I understand the whole viewpoint. We wanted the Fitzgarden top target. We can't get him now, so we'll get him in the summer. But then you've also got the flip side of why did we not even get somebody in on loan just to share the workload with Ida? Has Rodgers actually got that much faith in Johnny Kenny to be the man to step up? And it's clear it doesn't, because Rodgers has said in press conferences before the window shut he wanted another striker. Even when questioned about playing Dyson through the middle, he said, no, I want a striker. And the board seemed to have sort of gave him that. And I'm not even going to say, I think with this whole argument that's gone on now and people being happy clappers, people being really negative, I think it's possible to say that the window was disappointing in terms of letting Kyogo go and no replacing your star striker, essentially. That's criminal. I understand we might not have been able to get the top target. January, you know, a notorious window for hard to do business.
You just can't get the players you want in January.
But I mean, obviously it is a hard window, but I don't think it's maybe meriting the resignation of the CEO. I think you can sort of be in the middle ground of saying, I'm disappointed by the window, but I don't want heads to roll. Is that too ridiculous to say? Do I need to commit to one extreme or the other here? Because people are dying on a hill either way, whereas I'm sort of feel like I'm sitting on the fence a wee bit because I'm no calling for...
Is the dying in the hill perhaps just 2025 wrapped up in a bottle? The age we live in now, we're in social media, you can't be in the middle. You need to be over-exaggerative.
You need to be raging or ecstatic.
You can't just be, here's the negatives, here's the positives.
I will say, I'm miffed that we didn't replace Kyogo, but I do still think we're fine, but I also don't want to rest on your laurels too much. We'll be fine, we're fucking expert. I don't want to have that mindset, and I'm not saying that's how I'm thinking, but we definitely should have had somebody lined up for Kyogo, especially with the knowledge that's came out that it's been months that he's been wanting away. The club's known about it. We should have done better, but I'm not going to be dragging him to the boardroom and making them resign.
Well, I guess the way to look at it is, and I'll come to you, Dylan, in a moment. I think the way to look at it is Celtic are surpassing, I think, the majority of their expectations for the season, both from a football and performance point of view, and probably a business and financial point of view. We're running incredibly well, and that's not, I hate this whole, as soon as you say something like that, you do get called a bootlicker nowadays. That seems to be what it is. If anything, this podcast was built on the anti-bootlicking mantra.
Have we forgotten our roots?
I know. So I never want people for a moment to think that it's me coming out of my channel or us coming out of this podcast going, well done, board, can't do no wrong. Of course, they've given the manager short change for this window, but at the same time, I think it's important to remember that football and anything in life deserves a balanced mind and deserves a balanced opinion.
See, the one thing I will say lastly on it is I kind of get the point of some of the stuff is obscene that I've been seeing for certain people in their anger about it, like calling for resignations and that. I wouldn't go quite that far, but the sentiment that maybe, see if we didn't draw, see if we finished in a better position to get a more favourable draw in the Champions League, would we have spent the money to get would we have broke the bank to get Fitzsimons? Because, and then people are saying, I kind of get the idea that why are we expected to fork out £46 for a game against Bayern Munich, book up to go to the away leg when the board have already resigned themselves? And obviously I've not got any delusions about we're going to go out and put Bayern Munich out the Champions League. Everybody's thinking that, but I think it's just when you see the actions of the club sort of already resign themselves to the fact that, right, we're going to get pumped, so why would we spend that? It's just the league we need to worry about now, and the cup.
Aye.
So is that the kind of, I've seen that point put on Twitter and I'm kind of no fully agreeing with it, but I really do understand that, because why should we be expected to pay for something that they're not willing to pay to put the effort into?
It's a fair point. Dylan, I mean, you've sat there listening to Kieran give his thoughts on it all, and me chipping in away. Obviously, I sit with Kieran at the football, so I've not actually got to hear any of your opinions yet, because it's the first time I've seen you. What are you thinking after all of it? Where do you stand?
I think Kieran's got it pretty much spot on. I think I'm sort of in that sitting in the fence sort of way as well. It's more, it's probably say I'm more annoyed than happy about it, because obviously we've brought Jota and that helps, and it's like, but it's just, we've spoke about it, Kyogo, in my opinion, has been the best since Larson. So the fact if we knew he's wanting to leave, and it's still a surprise to me that he did leave, but I hope best luck to him. But the fact that we've got the knockouts of the Champions League for the first time in a long time, that should have been a real chance for Celtic to be more optimistic. I know we've got Idarel and Maida can play through the middle, which I've been enjoying Maida, and I think he can play in the middle. His finishing's got better this season. I'm all for it, but if you know you're going to play, especially Bayern or Real Madrid, I think we could have really gave this a good go. I'm not saying we're going to get put out and get destroyed in that, but if you're bringing in a striker to replace Kyogo, it's giving you more optimism. And as Kieran says, has the board already admitted defeat by not bringing in a striker thinking everything's rosy? But
does it maybe not help that Rodgers has also been out in the record to say he wanted a striker? Does it worry you that maybe that pushes Rodgers in the wrong direction and it doesn't help his quest in signing a new contract? Or what do you think about all of that? Rodgers saying that he feels like he needs a striker.
I know it's a wee bit concerning that, to be honest, because I think Brendan Rodgers, one of the first reasons he left the first time was because he wasn't getting what he wanted, and I think a lot of this season he spoke about the club advancing to that next level of the Champions League. So if the board's, like as Kieran says, if you think you're already meant defeat and stuff like that, it's not going to make Rodgers happy as well. But we'll just need to see what happens in the summer, because obviously we get Tierney coming in and we can always turn that around, but the Champions League we've got by the place we wanted to, but I really think we should have gave this a go, and bringing in a striker to replace Kyogo should have been a priority. But we've obviously signed Ida for the big money, and we know we've got options with Jota back as well. But with Brendan Rodgers, he wanted the signings, so that's why you're sitting in that unhappy.
I guess it doesn't help, Kieran, that this is now the second January in a row perhaps where they feel like, in the last year we got away with it, of course. In fact, if anything, last year turned into a very successful window. But in hindsight, that we brought in Ida, who looked like wasn't going to be great, won us the league. We brought in Kuhn, who didn't start well, ended up being one of our most important and best players. So it wasn't a great window on paper at the time, and it feels like we've kind of repeated ourselves when we should have maybe learned a lesson from the reaction back then.
I think that's the thing that's really annoying people. It seems like we're no learning these lessons, and everybody can see what we need to get in. Especially if your manager is coming out and saying, I want a striker, and I know the Maida can play there, but I want somebody there, that's their natural position, they're going to play there, and they never got it. As you were touching on there, I do think it is, as Dylan said, slightly concerning, because how long's he got left in his deal now? About a year in the summer?
1 more year after this.
Like, he's went on the record many times, even in his first tenure, saying if they're no showing signs of wanting to progress a club, then I'm done. And obviously we'll have shown a lot more ambition, especially in the summer windows, signing Engels for £11 million after Matt O'Reilly left. I was hoping that was going to be the sort of benchmark now, that when we did sell players for, I know Kyogo only went for 10 million, but if you're selling the starters in your team, you need to replace them with real quality. I get the whole thing people are saying with Ida, we've got a £9 million player sitting on the bench. Everybody was begrudging the £9 million we spent up until a few weeks ago. People were saying he's never a £9 million player, even though the whole fact it's not his fault.
It is funny just watching opinions. And
but like people seem to the amount of times I've seen that on Twitter, like, we had a £9 million player sitting on the bench, that's your replacement. I'm like, for the past fucking 6 months, couldn't be saying he's not worth fucking off of that. I'm like, so now he's the £9 million man, because he is thankfully picked up form, but I do think a striker was needed to replace Kyogo, and I hope to God everybody stays fit and the end of the season goes smoothly, but you can, it's never guarantees in football, and say, God forbid, Ida was to get injured, is Johnny Kenny the starting man?
We'll soon see.
Hopefully we're not having to talk about that on the podcast.
So let me put myself in the shoes. Let me play the role of Michael Nicholson.
You play it quite well, to be fair.
Thank
glasses.
you. Cheers. Is that it? Just
ginger hair.
Hey, I'm not ginger. Right? I'm not having it. Right? So, I'm going to try and take... So, I think we're all in unison here, right, with our opinions. I think we all are cut from the same cloth in the sense that we agree that it was disappointing, but I don't think any of us are ready to be down at Parkhead moaning anytime soon. Unless there's injuries, of course.
And then the Sharks are out.
But it would... So I'll ask the question that Michael Nicholson will probably respond to that. If Michael Nicholson gets asked at the AGM later this year, and granted, a lot will change by November. You know, there'll be another Champions League campaign, there'll be another league title chase starting. But by November, if somebody asks him the question, January was a fucking bitter disappointment, you let us down, what are you going to do different? When Michael Nicholson stands up at that AGM and goes, well, we won the league by 15 points, we won a treble, we got to the playoffs of the Champions League where we were unlucky to draw Bayern Munich. We met all the expectations that were asked. What else are we meant to do? What is the response to that? That's what I wonder.
It's also the point we were making about progression. Like,
Yeah, no, I agree.
I
just
understand it's
I
a
agree.
tall
I'm
order
just
to
putting the
expect that against
hypothetical
Bayern
in there,
Munich,
by the way.
but nah, fuck you, Michael. Talking to me like that, about shilling your shoes.
I think this is probably one of the hardest ones in the sense that I think that the Celtic board are wrong completely in terms of not backing Rodgers to the extent they should, absolutely, but they will somewhat, and it's weird, it's just such a weird position to be in. They somewhat do have a leg to stand on in the sense that they have landed on the expectations of the season.
Aye.
So it's so strange. And they've spent big. It's not like we've
Aye.
not spent money this season. We've spent millions.
I think it's just because it's Kyogo.
Aye.
Like,
It's
you're
just, yeah, it's
losing
careless.
somebody of his calibre and you've no replaced them. I understand we got a great deal in terms of Jota coming back and he's seemingly hit the ground running, and that's everything you wanted, especially seeing as he was not out for so long but barely playing football, but it's still not a striker. I've got a lot of faith in Ida. I do think he's got it in him, as we were saying at the game last night. He just loves this second half of the season.
Aye.
This is his
Kicks
time
in
to shine.
in January. I was going to come to that next, actually, to kind of progress the conversation along. Dylan, in terms of the second half of the season, where the squad lies, we know it's good enough to compete domestically, and maybe there's a wee bit short there for Europe. But do you have faith in this group of lads to deliver? And you have faith in Adam Ida to kick on and pick it up?
Yeah, definitely. I think we spoke about it with Adam Ida pick up form. I think since Kyogo's left so far, obviously, he's risen to the occasion. And as we said, last season he scored a lot of big goals. He scored the goals against Villarreal as well, which is a real good sign. So hopefully it gives him the confidence that he's banging the goals in, and basically he is the main man now. And can he step up to the plate? And hopefully he can. And as you said, I've got belief. A lot of good options in the wing now. The midfield looks like they're perfectly balanced as well. You've got the options of McCowan, Bernardo as usual. Vickers trusty at starting place. So as long as there's no injuries, there's no reason why nothing drastic will happen. So
I think that's so big. I think that's one point that we've maybe overlooked now that he is in the team. Now that he's genuinely going to be starting every week. I can't imagine a week where he doesn't start unless Rodgers decides to go, fuck it, Maida through the middle. But either starting is going to be so huge for his confidence. 'Cause I think that's something that he's maybe missed. It's just...
I think it probably stings a wee bit to be playing a bit part. He was the one coming on for Kyogo a lot of the time in like the 60th minute. You're not getting to really get a feel for the game straight away. I do think it would do him the world of the good, and you've seen it in the past 3 games. That's about 4 goals.
Yep.
To at Villa Park. Man, my head just went blank on every game. we've just
I
played
looked
there.
in it to look at the news for a second, and I came back to you hitting the world's
I
biggest brain fart.
started buffering, man.
You're right.
Oh no, shattered. But the point stands, he's came on to a good game,
Aye.
and hopefully it continues now. But
Well, one of the big things about the January window, I don't want to drag on the January transfer window for too long, but there's big news that's came out tonight about somebody who looks as though they're set to leave Celtic, but didn't happen in the January window because according to the Daily Record, Greg Taylor's away. As far as they're aware, he's gone. So this will be coming out tonight. The headline seems to be Greg Taylor set for Celtic exit as Dinamo Zagreb make a breakthrough, but there is good news hiding in the small print. Now, the good news that is reportedly hiding in that small print is that Zagreb, I think, are actually technically still allowed to sign players right now. Their window isn't shut. However, Greg Taylor will not be leaving Celtic in February. He will be here to the end of the season. So I guess one of the main things you can take, Dylan, is at least we're not losing Taylor anytime soon, and he's going to be sealed here.
especially Valley's left as well. So it's like
Just sitting
it's
there.
a real panic buy after that. But but that's kind of expected, to be honest. It's good that we'll have him to the end of the season. But with Kieran Tierney coming in, it's not really a surprise to anybody. But he's been a good servant, Greg Taylor. If he is leaving, fair play to him. But
You gutted.
it's a good replacement with Tierney though, so it's alright. But it's going to be an interesting one because we probably should bring in another left back again, because
You'd
obviously
think. Maybe end up just signing Schlupp because he's
if
free
Dillon
and
works out well,
summer,
which
aye.
good to see. We might see Merriam, but
Aye.
so far so good for him. I know he looked alright last night.
got stuck in.
I just can't believe Greg Taylor's played in that stadium and thought I might play here.
So let me
Permanently.
read a bit of the story because I feel like it's one that's not really taken off on socials yet. I've not
I
seen.
mean, I said to you in the
You
morning
did,
on
to
the way
be
here.
fair. But so basically, the article goes on to say that Greg Taylor is reportedly set to leave Celtic, but Brendan Rodgers will be relieved to find out it won't be until the summer. He's been chased down by Zagreb through the winter window, and with the Croatian window not shut to the end of next week, there was time remaining to push it through, but Celtic have put the foot down. Whatever, it ain't happening. They aren't going to let him go. So it's mixed news. I'm not going to lie. it's weird. It's bittersweet in the sense that I don't know. Like, we're getting Tierney, and I did always expect Taylor to go, but I kind of warmed to the idea of him staying and being the backup to Tierney. Now, if that's not what he wants, fair enough. It's just I didn't expect it. I thought that we moved. Seeing that the window was shut, I was like, I thought he was going to stay, but
I don't know. I kind of had it in my head that I just thought it wasn't going to.
Especially with the contract situation.
I had in my head, if you go back onto my channel for November, December, and everybody kept asking me, what's the Taylor situation? I kept saying, he'll be gone. If he's not signed the contract, then he'll be gone. But the fact that we made it through January without him, now he has, but the fact that we made it through January without him signing for a club, I was like, oh, maybe he'll stay then. Maybe we will be getting a deal, but I don't know. It's a weird one. Zagreb, but it's a strange move.
Still, it's the same with Kyogo, isn't it? Like, I don't think he would have left in January if he was ever going to leave. To Rennes.
No.
I thought he could have given a chance.
I thought Greg Taylor had either mid-table championship or some team in the MLS written over him.
I guess it's a win-win in the sense that he's going to be fighting for titles and he's going to be playing in the Champions League. So he's getting the benefits of playing for Celtic. Just has to move to Eastern Europe and obviously.
I mean, Croatia's a lovely.
I don't mean that in a way. Like,
maybe no in Europe, December.
The
freezing cold, but
I just thought that maybe I don't know, staying in close to home would have been what he preferred. But he's getting the first team football, so that's the biggest thing. If he goes, I think he'll be fondly remembered though. I don't think people will. I don't know. I don't know
if it's going to be fondly. I'm not going to say it's negative, but I don't think he's going to be held in mega high regard. I mean, you can appreciate him being a great servant to the club over the years he's been here.
I mean, what is it? 250, 200 appearances or something?
Oh, I could not tell you.
Can't remember what he got.
Sometimes it doesn't feel that long, but
it joined in 2019, didn't it?
Yeah, 6 years. That's a long time to be at one club in this modern day. It's a long time. So yeah, looks as though Taylor's off. Let's know what you think. Any other parting thoughts?
I think it's because he took it. Basically, he was one of the first ones to take care of Tierney, and nobody really ever would get to Tierney's level when he left. But I feel like out of all the left backs, he the most consistent.
Obviously, none of us know how long Tierney's going to stay here this time. But it's not as we're going to be in this same situation again when Tierney goes again. Nobody can replace Tierney. Like just repeating the same deja vu situation.
Do you think Tierney will leave again?
I would like to imagine he stays for good, but if he plays well enough and one team offer him one last big shot,
I don't know. It's a weird one for me because of the age he's coming back. Like,
he's coming back at what,
27?
27. Maybe.
28 by the time.
I mean, if he had to, I assume he'll stay to the end of his contract, and I assume he'll be here maybe late into his career. But I just feel like if he stayed fit and played to his optimum abilities for 2 of these years, maybe somebody would be willing to take a chance on him, and maybe he'd get a decent move. But I mean, what's the point? He's not even fucking through the door.
Try to fucking sell him already.
I know. Don't
Mr. Board sympathiser there think about the player trading model already.
Well, you bring him in for free, you get another 25 million.
See what more money is it?
Okay, one last thing about the transfer window. How about that woman sending fucking Twitter into her frenzy with that photo of Brendan Rodgers going down to a charity dinner?
Aye. Well, I'd messaged the group chat quite early in the day saying he's not doing there for transfer business, and I wish that I've said it on Twitter earlier, but it's not as if I was going to calm everybody down. I'm no fucking Stephen McGowan, I'm not going to pretend. But I knew quite early in the day that it was for a charity dinner, and
the photo, well, that must have just been a pure old one that somebody snapped to them on an EasyJet flight together.
See, that's so. He was going down on a BA flight. He was on a BA flight down. And he was there himself. Nobody else was with him. Contrary to what people said, and I'm like, why would they not send out the private jet if he was going to meet a player? You know what I mean? So just made no sense in the first place. But the
whole gang meant to be gone down to bring Jeffrey Schlupp back.
Right, why would they do that? Oh, it's bizarre. Anyway, panic buys. Right, I think we could probably move on to the half-time quiz. Could we? Is there anything else? I mean, Jota's looked great, hasn't he? Aye. Like brilliant. How good is it to see him back there?
Oh, it still feels weird, man, especially number 7 as well. They made that quick, didn't they, with Palmer? The number 7. So I would say, man.
So from what I heard as well from someone is that they did actually picture him with 23. Like,
because I seen the leaked ones and all that on Twitter, like the contract on the table with the. Because I remember seeing that leaked, and then but they just won the releasing it, obviously waiting for Palma.
Yeah. But it's just so good to see him back.
It feels surreal.
He just looks like even though he's nowhere near 100% sharpness wise, he doesn't look as though he skipped a beat. Some of his touches last night were just
bought in for the Maida goal as well. That was some. I thought he was going to shoot.
Are we going to talk about the Dundee game?
Well, if you want to, I'm getting up the half-time quiz. If you want to
you don't even really need to talk too much about it. The first half, up until we scored the second goal, I thought we were just weren't getting there, but the second half kicked on big time, and some of the goals last night was
some
ridiculous.
of the goals of the season, I think, to be honest. The
Like,
Kuhn one as well when he came on.
It was just effortless, Kuhn's goal. It was just, no, day the office.
How good is Arnie Engels?
I know.
Just unreal.
Some ball as well for the Maida chip.
He's just coming on to a game, and it's once like it's look. There's one thing that will never be fixed about modern world. Never mind modern football. Reactionism is huge. It's always going to be, because social media has ruined our perceptions of anything. TikTok has given us the attention span of a fucking rat. So it's very easy to get carried away instantly. But can we stop the judgments after a couple of fucking games and let life take its toll, please? Christ almighty. Thanks. Right, he's ready for your halftime quiz.
Yep.
Right, okie dokie. Well, today your halftime quiz is going to be a simple who's that tick. Of course, I will give you a player. You've got to tell me. I'll give you a player and their career path from where they joined Celtic and the team that they left to join Celtic after their time here. Now, on that note, today I'm going to add in a wee extra bonus point if you can tell me what is the link between both players. It's quite a niche link, so I'll try and help you out, but that'll come after the actual players. So, I am hoping, hold on, let me see. Yes, happy days. Right. Let me get the first player. Kieran, who won the last quiz?
Dylan. Sure.
Well, Dylan, if you would.
I don't know. I lost the last quiz.
Right,
in
well, Dylan, I'll
spectacular
let you
fashion.
choose if you'd like to go player A or player B.
I'll go A. I don't know if I've been in a while.
Right, okay, doc. So, player A is for you. He joined Celtic from Manchester City and left Celtic to join Swansea City. So joined from Manchester City and left to join Swansea City.
Can't even think. You can just.
I know a couple we got for City, but I don't know if they went to Swansea.
Is this a hard one?
It's recent enough. I think Kieran's light bulb has went blinkers. I think he's figured out who it is.
Swansea.
It's one that if I got asked, I'd take ages and just never get it, I think.
It just popped into my head there because we were talking about this man earlier.
Oh, that's
the
so
chat.
worse. So worse, aye.
I cannot think.
You want to give it a stab in the dark?
I might need just to take a wild guess.
The wildest of guesses.
Brain's no bottom. Jam.
Correct.
Oh, is it?
Aye.
This
Did
is
you get him for
correct.
City?
Yes.
Aye.
That was the only thing I could think of for Swansea. I said, no, we didn't get him for Man City.
Because the clips you've seen in Cham, he was on loan at Genoa like the season before, and then he went back to City.
It's well done.
I don't remember
Good
that.
guess. Good guess.
I forgot he went to Swansea, to be honest.
Aye, so
I
there
was
you go.
actually looking at his Wikipedia earlier when we were talking.
Well, we should have remembered Kieran.
I know.
Yours.
Hit me.
Joined Celtic from Aberdeen. Left Celtic for Aberdeen. So from Aberdeen to Celtic, back to Aberdeen.
Johnny Hayes.
Correct. He got it quick. Two decent ones. So, I mean, the win's up for grabs. If you can guess first, I'll open the floor. What connects these two players? What is the theme for today's Who's That Tick?
Sign him in January.
No. Johnny Hayes didn't come into the summer. Neither did Olivia and Cham, I think, as well,
They
actually.
were both summer signings. They both came in the summer.
That's not the answer, I'm afraid.
January's too boring for something like that.
Aye.
Usually. Back then, anyway.
It's quite niche.
And I'm trying to think how niche, because obviously they both scored against Rangers in their first.
It's no
derby.
about scoring, put it that way. It's nothing to do with goals. If you don't want to guess it, you don't need to guess. If you think you're taking too long, you can
Walks
just...
with Rodgers. No.
It's not worked with Rodgers.
No.
Is there any hints you can give for this? That Disney
Champions
completely-
League. The hint is Champions League. Think of something coming up.
They both played against Bayern.
They were both in the squad when we played Bayern Munich. So there you go. That was yours. They were the two players that I thought would be the biggest struggle. Because everybody else was just so obvious. The likes of like Sinclair. You would have got Sinclair instantly. You would have known him.
Went to Preston.
Yep, Dembele. I mean, you'd have got that easily. The only other one that I was considering throwing in there that I think could have been a bit of a task, but I reckon you would have got it quick, was Christian Gamboa, who was in the squad that night.
Was Simunovic playing that night?
Simunovic
Oh, no,
was
it would
no.
mean
So
Boyata
I'll
and
run
Ajer.
through. I'll run through the team. Ajer was on the bench. So the team that night against Bayern Munich that started at Celtic Park, that is, was Craig Gordon in goals, a back four of Lustig, Boyata, Beaton and Tierney. Beaton. Right, that was a back four. The midfield was Scott Brown and Armstrong, Forrest, McGregor and Sinclair, and then Dembele up front. The bench was De Vries, Griffiths, Gamboa, Hayes, Rogic and Cham and Ajer.
Fucking hell.
And we got a decent... That's the kind of performance I'm hoping for.
I mind us playing decent that night.
Ah, we did. We
Forrest
should-
and Tierney were up.
we should have got a result.
McGregor scored, and then
Then they went up the
Javi
bar.
Martinez went up and scored like instantly.
And did you see that?
So without the instant fight back from Bayern, more of that next week, Sellik. More of that next week. On that note, it kind of takes us nicely into probably the next section of the show, where we can give it a wee bit of preview ahead of the weekend's game and the Champions League game. Let's be real, the weekend's game doesn't need too much of a preview. Raith Rovers in the fifth round of the Scottish
Fifth
Cup.
round,
Fifth round. It's business as usual, Dylan, innit? Just go to Parkhead and make sure you're through to the next round of the Cup.
Aye, should be simple as that. Helps if we got the home tie again, I guess, in this fixture. But nah, it's a good way to hopefully get Jota match fit if he's going to start, and then you cut our changes here and there, I'm assuming, just to get everybody ready for the Champions League game at the midweek.
Do you think there'll be any rotation?
In some cases, aye, but you can also think we can play Dyson the full 90 minutes if we want, because we don't need to worry about him playing on Wednesday, sadly,
that,
because
aye.
he's still suspended, which is a
Is it only two
gutter.
matches, well?
I so Villa, and then
So
she'll be back for the
obviously for the
Allianz,
Villa, aye.
but
I
no,
can't
it's
think
Celtic
that was
Park.
too much.
I know,
I
it's
know.
me. That's
It was a
too-
foul before he even gets.
I know.
Shocking, man.
Just
But
took it to the court of arbitration.
I think you'll see Ida get 60 minutes again before we wrap him up and bubble wrap for Wednesday night. But I think it'll be good to try and get the confidence levels up of players, especially as you were saying, Jota, try and give him more minutes in the legs.
Jeffrey,
I could see Schwab playing. Try to think, will there be calls for Sinisalo to get a start on Saturday night for people on Twitter again? I don't believe in cup keepers.
No, they are. I don't think it'll happen.
Nah.
And I hope people don't bother trying to greet about it.
Ralston probably.
aye.
I can see that. Scales. Midfield, McKibben probably
should, aye.
in there. And then
Bernardo.
McKibben, Bernardo, maybe keep Engels in just because he's flying. I think McGregor will get a rest.
I think it should. Listen, Raith Rovers, the only weird thing I have to say is that we seen Falkirk come to Celtic Park earlier in the season and they were right up for it. These championship sides, they do have a fire in the belly.
It was like that mini scale, wasn't it?
It was. They have a fire in the belly to come and get a big upset and to take themselves to the next round of the cup. I always tend to think that these clubs come with a bit more fight in them than the Premiership teams, because the Premiership teams think, we come here twice a year and it's only for
But their
points.
fans
no
will be
league."
right up for it. as
Yeah,
well.
they'll have
That's the magic of the cup, essentially.
Yep,
You'll
yep.
get bigger turnouts, but I think Rodgers obviously is one that won't allow for complacency. You'll have players on the bench should we need to use them that are the usual starters. But I think it's important to think as well, we're talking about the players coming into the team, it's all players that are hungry to try and steal the starting spot. You've got Luke McKibben, Paulo Bernardo, players of genuine quality to come in and replace the starters, and even Jeffrey Schlupp if he starts at left back, which I think he will. It's good to get some minutes into him as well, because he's going to have a big part to play in the run into the season.
So that's the cup.
You know, doing score predictions.
Aye, why no? Let's go fire across the table. We'll start with you.
I'll go 4-0. I want a clean sheet.
Oh, Dylan.
I'll go 3-0.
Fine, I'll go 5. Why no? I'll go 5. Rafe Rovers 3, Celtic 2. That's
I
good.
said 6
They're all
nothing
gone
last night.
wild in the streets of Rafe.
What'd you say?
I said 6 nothing last night.
Did you?
No.
No. Cheers. So that it does lead us into what. Look, listen, we won't get to meet up in the studio again before we play Bayern. The first leg of Bayern, I should say, which obviously is a huge game, and we want to talk about it on this podcast. This is a shot at mini immortality. I don't know what you want to call it. It's a huge opportunity for Celtic. It's one that I think we have braced ourselves for disappointment, but while also keeping the well and true illusion alive that Celtic could get something. You know, if they go out there and they give it their all and they stay, especially in the home leg. We just spoke about that game back in 2017. Yes, two completely different sides, different Sellik side, different Bayern side. Celtic have done it before. They can challenge this team, they can take them to the wire, and as long as they don't do anything foolish, we've seen us pull off good results against German sides already this season. So
Bring that Leipzig energy, why not?
that's it. Is that the evidence, Dylan, right there, that what we've done against Leipzig, it's possible to do that against Bayern?
Definitely, especially that I think Bayern Munich's one of the teams, obviously a dominant force in Germany early years, but they can always slip up in the league. You see them now and again having their results, and if Celtic are on their game, 100 every player at their best, that 9, 10 out of 10 level, there's honestly no reason why we can't get a result in the first leg, and we should be up for it, and because we're not here much, might as well be optimistic.
Kieran.
I echo that sentiment. Got into the game with some optimism because the team's shown you this season what they're capable of. I'm not saying we're going to go there and demolish Bayern Munich. I mean, they've got a team with genuine quality from front to back, so obviously the utmost respect to them. But you've got to have faith in your own players. We've got a young squad, a lot of great technical players in there, like Arne Engels, Niklas Kuhn, even Dyson Maeda for the second leg. But
Exactly.
you're Jota as well. You've got a team that we can be proud of, and hopefully, as you are saying, it's not to say we can't go and give a really good account of ourselves, especially in the first leg. But I think that's the main thing about keeping the tie alive going into the second leg, because you don't want to be travelling out to Germany, having been beaten 2-3-0. So I think it's just important for everybody to step up. But that's a huge opportunity for every player in that team to really announce themselves, especially the younger ones. That, look, Niklas Kuhn, that's another huge chance for him. I hate to talk about in the future when they'll be leaving Celtic, but it's a chance for these players to show they can play at the top level. And as much as they want to win, they're in it for themselves as well. They want to give the best account of themselves. So I think everybody should be right up for it, and hopefully everybody's in that squad is sharing the optimism. I think we can try and do something here.
I hope so, man. I just want to go over to Munich with the thought of a miracle, potentially.
Like, I just want to have some delusions going in my head.
Thing is, you would have killed to play Bayern Munich this time last season because they were really shit. This year, they're flying again in Germany, probably going to win the Bundesliga. But there is vulnerability in their team. They're not perfect. They're still
The way I
long way
look
from
at
being
these
great.
games, but is like attacking wise, we've got some genuine quality. I'm not trying to disrespect our defence, but obviously defensively, that's where we get let down in Europe. I mean, even against top teams in previous seasons where we never progressed to the next stages, you can always look at games like Atletico Madrid and look at the attacking play we had and the goals we scored. You know we're capable of scoring against pretty much any team in Europe, but it's just about trying to keep them out at the other end, especially when you've got people like Harry Kane and Musiala and the other, even an aging Thomas Muller. It's
Say
just
it out loud, man. I've got optimism's about.
take away everything I just said.
Fucked we are. No, look, listen, Bayern are a team who are under, obviously, a rebuild at the minute under Vincent Kompany. Watched them from time to time this season. They look good, but the one game that is very telling, and I don't know if anybody watched it, was match day 7 of the Champions League. They played Feyenoord. And I think it was at the Coupe, to be fair. But this is what you need to do at Celtic Park. Bayern were all over them. All over them. Pumped them. But the final score was Feyenoord 3, Bayern Munich 0. Because Feyenoord took their chances. They stayed strong as they could defensively. They frustrated Bayern. That's the homework. The homework has been done for us. I'm not saying just go and watch that and go, right, copy everything. Copy minute by minute, do what they did in that game. But the pointers are there and what to do right. And maybe Feyenoord got a bit lucky on the night. Who knows? They
You
got
need a
their
bit of
free
luck
goals.
against
You
these
do,
teams,
you do,
but I
yeah.
mean, we've had that ourselves this season. Like
Villa came in as well,
the young boys game as well. We wouldn't be in this position if it wasn't for that own goal. So that lucky deflection it ended up being. But you need to take your luck, and more important, we've said this before, every Champions League game you need to be clinical, and I think that's where the pressure then falls on your attacking force, especially Adam Ida. Big shoes to fill with Kyogo. Hopefully he's proved himself against Villa.
I mean, listen, controversial yet again perhaps, but I will die on the hill, and I think I've said it through the entirety of this Champions League group. Ida is better for these games. I truly believe that. I just think that the focal point of having him up front is really important. It was the same against Atalanta.
Villa.
For the big games, Villa. The two biggest games that we arguably played in that was Atalanta away, Dortmund away, and Villa. No, did I say Villa?
Aye.
And Atalanta, Villa and Dortmund. They were arguably the three biggest games. Two of them, Ida started up front, and we looked a bit more promising in the final third. I just think that his presence adds a bit more, whereas it's not me trying to rewrite history, Kyogo, because obviously I would love him to be in this game, and 9 times out of 10 I'm going to say yes, I'd rather Kyogo was here for it, but I just think that Ida will bring that physicality that we need to rough up their back four a wee bit to try and keep them guessing. You just got to hope. I'm trying to look at it as optimistic as I can.
I mean, we're here with any delusions. We know how much of a tall order this is against Bayern Munich, but see just what you're saying there. Who is the back centre half pairing for?
So they've got Big Upamecano,
fucking
who is somebody who we should be looking. He is the Bundesliga's answer to
Dedrick
Boyata, or Liam Scales on a bad day, or Austin Trusty on a bad day. Upamecano is
a mistake in him.
Very unreliable. Rough him up, keep him guessing, do things to him to scare him, and you've got a chance, because he's not that good.
It's just like, as soon as you said the things to scare him, he just went a different place.
Let me just check. Let's see what they played. at the...
Because at the weekend, did they not end up conceding 2 goals in injury time
so
as well?
Their expected back... Oh my God, imagine that was their back four. Their expected back four on FotMob, and this is obviously not going to be the back four they end up playing, right? But their expected back four is good play. Listen, I'm not going to say they're not good players, but Sasha Bowie, Upamecano, Eric Dyer, and Rafa Guerrero.
Sasha Bowie, we linked to him in the
we
past.
linked him a few years ago.
He used to play for Galatasaray.
Yes, I believe he did. So look, listen, what's the big comfort, Dylan, is the fact that with Maida being unavailable, Jota's came in right through the door, and that's a game where you're hoping set piece magic, just moments of brilliance can maybe inspire you to the odd goal here or there.
Aye, just if they're like obviously the talent and skill, if they're at their best, there's no reason why we can't cause them problems. And I think it kind of, I don't know if about you, but I always like that we are getting written off by pretty much every other club's fans and that. It's like you've seen the bracket with City, Bayern, Real, Celtic, City, Bayern, Real. But I feel like there's no I don't want to say no pressure, because obviously we're still one to winning that. But,
I get you.
But it'll be good to. I think it helps at the first legs at Celtic Park for me personally.
Oh, really? Do you prefer it being in?
For a game like that, I think.
Right, okay.
Maybe not in general, but for like a big team.
Okay, I can see everything.
But it'll be interesting to see how we do. But
I suppose it probably is, because if the first leg was Bayern Munich and they beat us 5 or 6-0, then
a sombre atmosphere. It'd be hard to get yourself up.
I know for Celtic it probably is.
See, I've never thought about it like that before. Like in these, when you're playing a bigger team,
probably
is it more advantageous to play them? Because right away form's not exactly guaranteed in Europe.
Because I mean, if we go right, let's take the last time we went to Germany as the example. Dortmund pumped 7-1. If that happened in the first leg, the stadium would be half empty for the second leg.
The Bayern see that back again, like we lost 2-1 at Parky. Was it 3-0 before that?
That was.
We got beat 3-0 at the Allianz.
Was that before? I think it was after.
Was it after?
I don't know now that you said that.
But aye.
I think it was after, because that's what I was looking on Wikipedia when I was getting that half-time quiz, and I'm pretty sure it was after.
Was Bayern the double heater that year?
It might have been.
Aye, I think it was
because PSG at home was the first game.
And then the other team in the group was Anderlecht, who we beat away from home, didn't we?
We played Anderlecht last,
so
and
like
home, second away from home. Aye.
So that the double header was Bayern. Aye. There we go. What a long way to tell you a useless piece of information.
I know that wasn't for you. That was for our own peace of mind.
That's why your podcast is as shite as it is. Anyway, dare I ask slow predictions for Bayern?
I don't think I'd dare.
I think we've got to wait for the weekend.
Aye.
And see what
We'll put up a YouTube shot and go, do on Sellik.
pints on Saturday. 3-0 Sellik. But I'm excited. That's the main thing. I'm excited. Right, Twitter questions, shall we? I don't know how long we've been on. I think it's about. I think we started recording at something like 16 minutes past the hour.
It's about 40 minutes.
Aye. It's kind of flew by the day, haven't we? Good. Wanted to get up tonight. Well, Kieran's preparing the questions. Dylan, any random stories for us? Just anything at all on your mind?
I actually don't think so. We're quite boring last week.
Watching the Super Bowl on Sunday.
Oh, you'll be buzzing for that.
Yeah, man, indeed. Looking forward to it. I've got my table booked in Arc. I'll be there. Eagles gear on, head to toe. Got Eagles joggies and everything. Socks. He's looking at me somewhere.
I would not be fucking surprised, man.
What time does it start now?
Kick-off's at 11:30. Well, sorry to say, it'll be fucking close at 12, but 11:30. Anyway,
Right, he's ready.
go on.
Brandon is asking, do you think we have a good enough team right now to get past the qualifiers in the Champions League next season with the addition of KT and if no one leaves? You've got to have that belief, haven't you? Especially if we're at this stage of the Champions League. Qualifiers shouldn't be as much of an issue as they used to be, but you know what we're like. So.
Yeah, I think the team's good enough. And when you consider the fact that if a striker comes in, which it's never a guarantee with Celtic, striker comes in, you're back to where you were anyway. Like, obviously the striker doesn't guarantee the same quality as what Kyogo was, but if that's the basis we're working off, then yeah, we should be fine. I would say.
Aye, I agree with that. Doogie Boy is asking, is anyone else more over the Kyogo sale, knowing now that he's wanted to leave us since last season?
Oh, you go first, Dylan.
That's why I was saying to you, it's a really strange one for me, because I've always felt Kyogo was one of the players that enjoyed being here every time, and he was like the fan favourite and stuff, but it's just, I think it's because we didn't really properly replace him. It's still all fresh in the memory for me, and it's like, I still don't really know how I properly feel, but
yeah.
I mean, him wanting to leave since last season, it's still not going to alter my view of Kyogo personally. I still appreciate everything he's done for the club. And
the way that I look at it is what we say every time somebody leaves the club, they owe nothing to Celtic. He doesn't owe anything. And then people might go, he does. We gave him this big platform and blah, blah. He's a footballer.
He came in and saved us at a time where we were in, him and Ange,
arguably delivered us back to the top of Scotland.
he's the most important player in recent times.
Oh, yeah.
I think always in
probably.
Mind, I remember the first half of the season, we had a lot of, I think Ralston filled in a lot of the first half, and Kyogo was carrying us a lot of the time.
That's right.
Yeah, I think it was John McKenzie actually on his film account on Instagram. He put it quite elegantly.
Post, actually,
he was saying like he came in at a time where the fan base needed a hero, and he stepped up and he was that guy. And I think I always remember that the impact he had in the club back then.
Aye.
Aidan is asking, do you think Dane Murray will get many minutes between now and the summer, or do you think after Villa he'll only get in if there's a load of injuries? I think I'd be shocked to see him.
I don't think he'll play 1 minute in a Celtic shirt between now and the end of the season. If he does, it'll be against Rafe Rovers.
I was going to say Dane Murray 90 minutes on Saturday.
I like against Villa, so you never know.
I seen people on Twitter say, do you think that was, I don't think it was, but people suggesting on Twitter that was maybe Rodgers making a point bringing Murray on against Villa. I don't think it would have been. We were through it anyway. I think it was maybe just a chat. Like, the thing is, right, let's call it how it is, right? Let's call it how it is. Do you ever think there's a bit of sentimentality, even the slightest bit of sentimentality in football? Because Dane Murray, with all due respect, is probably never going to play in the Champions League ever again. I believe in all the lads at this club. I'd love them all to do well. But if you're not getting into anywhere near the Select team, if you're going on loan to Queen's Parks and all the rest of it, you're probably not going to be in the Champions League anytime soon, unless you end up in an Andy Robertson type trajectory, right? Which is 1 in a fucking million. So, do you think there's ever a part of Rodgers' head that's like, let's give this boy a memory that he'll never forget? Let's say that he's played in the Champions League. On you go, Dane. Against Aston Villa at Villa Park.
I mean, you could argue it, to be fair. I mean, the guy is a professional, but at the end of the day, he's human, and he might have that sort of side.
And done 4-2 or whatever. I don't know if we were done 4-2 at the time, 3-2 maybe.
The boy cost.
Aye. But like, I wonder if there is. I'm not. By the way, before people suggest that's what I'm saying happened, I'm not. I'm just saying, do you think there's ever a possibility that the manager looks at it and goes,
"You'll never know."
He could put that photo on his mantle for the rest of his life and say, "I played in the Champions League." And he might never get the chance to ever again anywhere he goes. So
you're welcome, Dane.
Aye. If you're watching Dane by any chance, go kick on and Dare Andy Robertson, by the way. Prove me a bastard.
Liam's back. He says, "Hi Kieran, a cracking win for the ticket the weekend. Just wondering if you're any good at dancing." I'm going to answer that with a firm
I
no.
went to see Strictly.
I know. Maybe that's in my future. Ballroom dancer.
Dancing.
And mind that Gamboa started and set up goals away at Thistle. A crazy world. Hail, hail, guys.
I love these random memories just being posted. Like, mind that. No.
I
Don't.
always mind him being so happy, though, Gambo. He was always just smiling away.
Wee pal for his Agiri, I know.
Aye. They were like stepbrothers, they too, weren't they?
Loved it. Remember how fast Gamboa was?
Oh, it was rapid, man. Rapid. I think he still is. Is he still at Bochum? Or is he away now?
Oh no, he'll be away now, surely.
I remember when he was, but I remember tuning into a couple of Bochum games that were on the telly, and fuck, he was still pelting up and down the right hand side.
I just mind him for Costa Rica, just causing it now and again.
Aye.
We've got David Turnbull here asking,
I always laugh at that.
Jota returning, KT returning, or Rodgers arriving the first time. What got you most excited in order of least to most?
Oh, that's a good question.
That's a great question.
So, do you know what I'm going? Contrary to what you might all think, it's not Rodgers, because I was still a bit hurting at Dyler leaving. I was a wee bit sad that Dyler left, and as much as I was buzzing about Rodgers coming in, I still think I was more buzzing it like Jota, Tierney coming back maybe.
See, I don't know if, because I'm buzzing at Tierney coming back, but see, because it's no like happened yet.
I know.
I feel like Jota gets in ahead of that, you know, just for the shock factor. We sat here and that's very set up.
See our reactions.
And then with Rodgers, I was buzzing. I get the whole thing about being sad with Dyler, but I think everybody at the time recognised.
No, of course.
Like, we like the guy.
We were that buzzing that we waited in the queue for a season ticket for fucking
sunburnt to fuck
9 hours or whatever it was. What would you be? What's yours?
I'd maybe edge it to Rodgers, right? But only because mine to be lost the cup to them, and then the penalties, and everybody's feeling a wee bit down, and then it was a real statement, I think, at the time. And obviously I'd made a Liverpool growing up, so
but I think Beatty's arrivals have been pure big statements. Even when he came back the second time, I felt like a time where maybe across the city they were thinking, right, we've got a chance here to catch him up, and they're going to fuck up this next appointment. We went out and got Brendan Rodgers.
To be fair, do you know what I will say before we move on to the next question? My head is mush, right? And honestly, see the day Rodgers came back to Celtic, I cannot tell you where I was. Came to Celtic. I can't tell you where I was. I can't tell you what I was doing. I can't even remember my reaction to the news.
What, in 2016?
Cannot tell you for the life of me.
I feel like I found it in school at like...
But was it not during the summer holidays?
No.
See, this is what I mean. I don't remember.
How would it have been during the summer holidays? We waited in our school uniforms in June for our season tickets.
That's right, aye. Well, see, I don't remember. See, I tell you, I don't remember it. I just don't.
It was, 9 years ago?
Fuck me, my head's mush.
9 years ago. I feel fucking sick.
We're nearly 10 years having that season book, man.
Oh, God.
Pretty scary, that.
I think, is it Odran? I don't know how to say it.
Oren?
Aye, but well, he's asking, well, lads, hope you're all well. Any of you feeling as optimistic for this Bayern game as I am? Well, I mean, I think we're sort of feeling a fair bit of optimism. Maybe misplaced, but it's Champions League.
When Rafe knock us out the cup on Saturday, we'll
come back and refilm this.
Was optimistic against Dortmund that
well, I know.
Maybe we should.
It's nuts because see in my head, right? Like, I didn't bring this up in the match preview section for some reason, right? When we beat Leipzig, I was so impressed because last season Leipzig were. At the start of the year, I predicted Leipzig to win the Bundesliga, so I was like, "Wow, fucking result! That's huge." And obviously that was also after the Dortmund defeat. So I'm thinking to myself, "Oh, that's fucking massive." But then you look at the Dortmund game. Dortmund are shite this season. They've been pish, but somehow they beat us 7-1. So you just don't know what you're getting with Sellik in Europe. You really don't.
We've got Daniel Stewart here. We've briefly touched on it, but do you think Kyogo leaving is exactly what Adam Ida needed to start showing how good he can be, being the main man? And do you think Kenny will be getting an opportunity to start on Saturday against Raith Rovers? I'm going to just say, on the Kenny point, I think Ida will start, but he'll get brought on at the end of it. But on the point is Kyogo leaving the making of Adam Ida being the main man at Celtic?
I'd like to think so. So far it feels like it's going to be, because obviously he's had a bit of form again. Always as well talk about that Ida was always sort of playing second string to Kyogo and coming off the bench a lot. So maybe this is what he needs. And as you just have spoke about, the second half of the seasons when we've seen Ida come to his best. So hopefully that is the case.
Well, I touched on it earlier, didn't I? I said that maybe the string of starts that he needed has finally arrived, and maybe he's playing without that extra pressure on his back. I don't know, but I don't know if I'd call it the making of him, but I certainly think it will help him.
Let's see what we've got. We've got Matt McQueen here saying, remember when Rangers fans were tagging and asking Donald Trump to buy their football club? Funny times. Big fan. Hail, hail.
See, he's lost the plot this week. It's going to be the Riviera of the Middle East. What a fucking numpty. So I honestly,
I know.
we love it.
Wild.
Aye.
Let's see, we've got a couple more questions. I'm trying to put them in an order.
I know that. Do you know there's on?
last
I
time.
feel somewhat. There's going to be a couple of controversial comments surrounding my opinion of Trump there, because I remember I done a live stream not long ago and I made a joke about how I think Donald Trump is an intolerable, stupid twat, which he is. And it turns out there is a lot more Trumpsters in the Sellik support than I.
Oh no, there is.
There's a few, isn't there?
It's this second time round. People have.
Yeah.
People are thick as fucking nuts, man.
You better watch, Kieran will get cancelled.
Get up them. Let's see. I want to see what one I want to leave last. Let's go for Liam Wallace's question here, saying, "What's your favourite flavour of Pringles?"
Oh, we got a food question. I thought there was none. Get your food questions back. I'm missing them.
Good question.
I think. I mean, obviously, you can go for like the standard ones, but I mean, I like
Regular. Not McKinley.
plain. Texas barbecue is always a good one.
I've got sick of them.
Or see the spicy ones brought out, but like see the sour cream with like a kick.
Ooh, I didn't know these
Yeah, I like that,
existed.
but the barbecue rib ones.
Oh, there's different like
right.
spices,
Yeah,
but the sour
need
cream is like a black tube with like the sour cream's the
Remember
green.
back in the day they had black Pringles? There was like a tub and it was like, was it just rib or something?
I mean, they
There
used
was
to have
a-
the black packet of Walkers. It was barbecue rib.
Oh, I'm sure there was a black Pringles as well.
There probably was, aye.
My favourite is is are these the new ones, hot and spicy, or is that the ones I'm thinking of back in the
Oh, I
day?
think that's the one you're talking about.
Aye, and are these the new ones?
Aye, see all
They're
the
the-
ones
Aye.
right now, the four
So it's like the
colours.
kicking sour cream and onion.
Oh,
But
chili cheese, I forgot about that now.
My favourite is sour cream and chive, or whatever the fuck it's called. Sour cream and cheese. I don't know. The green.
Aye.
The green
Green
one.
one.
Aye, it's just
the light green
brilliant.
one's banging.
Fantastic.
Let's see. I'll leave it on a Sellik one, but Sean is asking any movie recommendations.
Oh well.
Ooh, Sean.
I'm back
Good
on the movie
question.
train. I watched 30 films in January.
Finished Rocky, didn't you?
How
finished
many
the
of them
Rockies.
contained Sylvester Stallone?
15 probably. I love Big Sly, by the way. He's unreal. I love him. I didn't think I'd ever be a big Stallone fan, and God bless him, good Catholic man. So if you want to follow me in Letterboxd, it's very simple. Go and find me at Ryan Stephen F. I'll let you all go through film recommendations, but here's a couple of the highlights from January for me. Of course, Rocky and the first couple of Rambos, I'll give you his name, but I watched a film called A Real Pain, starring Kieran Culkin and Jesse Eisenberg, which I thought was fantastic. You should give that a watch. I watched a film called Goodrich with Michael Keaton, which was really enjoyable. I like that. I'm a very artsy man. I like your kind of artsier kind of films and stuff. I seen Wicked, and I thought that was fantastic.
I
And
haven't seen that yet.
and my last recommendation, the first Creed was good as well, but my last recommendation for the month, I'll say, is Draft Day. Is a very fun watch on Netflix. It's about the NFL draft. If you just want a wee bit of fun and easy watch, there's my suggestions.
You got anything, Dylan?
Just as you've watched all the Creeds.
Aye,
Creed's a good.
similar.
Aye, Creed's a good watch. I don't know. I've been more into TV shows lately.
I've been on a kick of TV shows.
Aye.
Watched The Recruit. The second season of that came out on Netflix. That's a really good watch. In terms of films, I feel like I've not been. December I watched a lot more films.
Yep.
I'm trying to think. I'll go one comedy. I watched Wedding Crashers again.
Oh,
I'm
you were
saying
saying
that to
that
you.
last night,
It's
right?
so fucking funny.
Right.
See when you've not seen it in years. And then a more serious one. That Mississippi Burning. Actually,
still
that's
watch
one that stuck with us. That's a brilliant film with Willem Dafoe and Gene Hackman. Brilliant.
The Hackman. What is that again? It's South Park, innit? Is it South Park? No, the Hackman. I can't remember who it is. Is it Christopher Reeves?
He's in South Park.
Did Gene Hackman play, by any chance, did he play like Lex Luthor in Superman?
I don't know.
I feel like I think that's what it is. Anyway, good suggestions. And I'm looking
And,
forward to the Oscar.
The last question, I made sure I left a Celtic one. Jack Daly's saying, build the perfect Celtic player using these.
Oh.
Left foot, right foot, hair. beating Rangers' ability, I'll say, instead of the overall Sellikness.
Oh, well, overall Celticness has to be Tommy Burns, isn't it?
Aye.
Tammy.
And the Rangers' scalping ability, I'll...
It's a good few.
I'll say your boy, the big Rogic, man. Good left, right.
That's a good shout,
Rangers
actually.
scored a lot of goals.
Aye, that's a
Maybe
shout.
recent times anyway.
Got Rogic, got Musa, got Kyogo. I had a few suggestions. That's only recent memories. We got Larson.
I like the Rogic shout. I'm going to go for that.
We'll go with Rogic. Make it a wee bit.
What
Hair,
about
Jota,
hair?
surely. Or Armstrong. But Jota's hair's gorgeous. Like,
Jota's hair's timeless.
aye.
Armstrong had a quiff.
Aye, that's
Very fair.
Scott Brown.
Nice hair now.
Right, we're putting Jota.
Aye, we'll go Jota. Recency bias. Right foot.
Right foot. Well, one of the feet has to belong to Larson. He was right footed, wasn't he?
Think so.
Aye, so.
Multi.
Oh, multi-footed.
Multi-footed.
And then we've also got left foot.
Who had a good left peg?
A lot of players have had good left pegs. Do you know that's one thing
Nakamura.
aye. I think that's it.
That's the way, isn't it?
Aye, there we go. There's your player. Naka. So is that us?
That's the questions done
Thank
for
you.
this week.
Good
Thanks again
questions.
for
Good
sending them in.
Questions.
I want more questions about your food and your dinners and
We should
Rapid
start asking for them to do a rate my plate type deal.
send in for. See, well, the telly that we've turned around. I was saying to Dylan next season. So for next, I know I think I've said this every year, but next season I really want to up the quality of the show. I want to get. I'm going to buy a camera switcher and get different angles and stuff. I think we should try and implement the TV for next season so we can do stuff like let's watch Midas go back and stuff
Can
like
we actually
that.
please do that?
Aye,
That'd be so fun.
It'd be good for the funder.
Stop it there.
So like we get the telly involved and it means like, you know, we can get people to send in pictures of stuff and we can go like Q&A, send us a photo and we'll put it up on the telly and we'll go that looks shit, you know, like
That's a fucking disgrace.
like I
Gary
think
Neville's all.
oh, it's rash. So anyway, it's time for the quiz. Now, do you want to know a fun fact about tonight's quiz? Because I completely forgot to do a quiz, I decided to take a modern day approach and I asked ChatGPT to give us a quiz. Now, I have been through the show, you may have realised I've been on my phone typing. I've not been ignorant and texting people or whatnot. I have been fact checking to make sure ChatGPT is correct. Turns out ChatGPT is as useless as a knitted Johnny because a couple of them, they're well off. So, for example, they asked, which German team did we beat in the semi-final of the 1967 European Cup? I wasn't aware that we played Cologne in the semi-final of the 1967 European Cup, but according to ChatGPT, we did. So yeah, there's a couple that I have had to change. I think that we've got it.
Right.
I think that we've got it. So, on that note, let me just double check. While I'm doing this, Kieran, are you going to watch a film tonight?
Depends
Depends
what time I get in, because I mean I've defo. What time did the Liverpool game?
Kick off at 8.
So I might catch the second half of that or the last 15, but I started reading my book last night. See if we were talking about reading. That's what my plan is.
Okay. You watching it when you're in?
Go catch up with the darts.
Oh,
Premier League's back tonight.
that's right. That's right.
You know, we watch.
Right, we're ready for the quiz then. Half time ended a draw, but Kieran, you did suggest the Bayern thing first. About teams being the same team. So I'll let you choose if you'd like to be set A or set B.
I'll go set A. Get out of the way.
Set A. Okie dokie then. Right, I'm hoping and praying that these are right. If any are wrong, then please let us know. Take it up with the people who run ChatGPT. Question 1, Kieran. Celtic. Which German club did Celtic first face in European the theme. I didn't even tell you the theme. The theme is Celtic against German clubs.
Right.
That's the
Right,
theme.
okay.
That's the theme. It's Celtic against German
thought it was
clubs.
gonna be random
No. It's a German club. So, Kieran, which German club did Celtic first face in European competition?
God. Let's try and think. Historic big clubs. Hamburg.
The correct answer is Werder Bremen. So that was the answer. They faced them in 1965, apparently. Apparently. I'm just want to make it
This
clear.
could be a fictitious meeting.
It could
of the
be.
two clubs.
I'm pretty sure they're all correct. I'm pretty sure they are. I've skimmed through them. Question 2, Dylan. Celtic's first ever victory over a German club in European competition came against which team?
I feel like this is going to be a pure historic one. I've just forgot about. I don't have a clue. Just say Bayern because it's the team.
It's a trick question because the answer's Werder Bremen because we beat them in that game.
I didn't think of that.
See, that's the thing. I knew it would throw whoever was player B off. But apparently we beat
Well
them.
played,
Werder Bremen.
well played.
So there you go. That's question 1 and 2 out the way. Question 3, which is your second question, Kieran. Outside of Nicholas Kuhn, who was the last German player to play for Celtic?
Marvin Comper.
Incorrect. There's been 2 since Marvin Comper. First of all, there was Jeremy Toljan, who played for us. And you're forgetting about a certain Moritz Jens, who also played for Celtic only a couple of years ago.
They don't have a patch on Comper.
No,
He's
they
a
do
legend
not.
of the club.
They
I
do
still
not.
can't believe how short James's time was. Nah,
They cut it short, didn't they? Nah.
Nah.
Right, Dylan, your question. Celtic faced Bayern Munich in the 2003-4 Champions League group stage. What was the result of their home match at Celtic Park?
Sure was it 1-0?
Well, let me double check because now you've threw now, according to ChatGPT, the answer was
That's not too quick.
2 each.
Ah.
So let's just see Celtic Bayern 2003 history. See, UEFA.com suggests it was 0-0. So it was you were wrong anyway.
Aye.
It was a draw. But ChatGPT is useless. ChatGPT is absolutely useless. Anyway, nonetheless, it's still 0-0. Into question 3. Kieran.
Right.
In the 2018-19 Europa League, Celtic were drawn against Rasenballsport Leipzig. What was the score when Celtic hosted Leipzig at Celtic Park?
2-1 Celtic.
Correctamundo. Dylan, your third question. Celtic faced Borussia Mönchengladbach in the 2016-17 Champions League group stage. What was the score in the away leg in Germany?
Gladbach. Was that 1 each?
Correct.
Dembele's
Dembele penalty, you're right. Correctamundo.
McGregor missed that fucking chance at the end as well.
So 1 each, heading into question 4. Kieran, in the 2022-23 UEFA Champions League, Celtic faced RB Leipzig once more in the group stage. Who scored Celtic's only goal across both matches against Leipzig?
Jota.
It was indeed scored in the away game, which Kieran didn't celebrate because he thought it was a Leipzig player.
In my tits.
Yes, yes. Dylan, that can't be right. That can't
Fills you with confidence going into a question.
That's not right.
So this is right. No, okay, no, it might be right. It might be right. Although I don't remember us playing this team, so I think ChatGPT has made this up.
Just ask it.
So Celtic apparently played Hamburg in the 2009-10 Europa League group stage. That's correct. Yes. I can't remember that game for the life of me.
I'm pretty sure the Hamburg fans done a big tifo.
Don't remember it for the life of me. What was the final score when Celtic played away in Germany?
Between two. 2-0.
Says 0-0 here.
I'd have said 1 each.
0-0, I think it was.
I feel like, see the like Europa League group stages in the years and even the ones after, they're so fucking forgettable, aren't they, man?
Yep. Right. Okay. 2-1 here. Heading into question 5. Kieran. Manager related questions.
Right.
And these ones are right. Because I made these ones myself to make sure we had at least some right answers. Who was the Bayern Munich manager when Celtic last faced off against them?
Oh, Jesus, fuck. 2017 minute.
2017-18 campaign.
Who would it have even been? I'm trying to
you know.
If you've been watching Ryan 118 recently, you'd know the answer.
Fuck no.
Cheers for that.
I actually don't have a fucking clue. Who was their manager? Was it Gus Hiddink?
Gus Hiddink? Where the fuck did you get Gus
Dunno.
Hiddink? Seeing that, it rings a bell that he might have actually been their manager at some point. No, the correct answer is Jupp Heynckes, if you remember. Right, he came back out of retirement.
I think I've
That's right, aye.
I think I've genuinely confused
Jupp
him with Gus
Heynckes, Gus
Hiddink in my
Hiddink,
head.
dick. So Jupp Heynckes is the correct answer.
It's been a long day.
Whoopsie. Hold on. And Dylan, your last question, to try and get your equaliser, to try and take it to a tiebreaker question. Who was the manager of Bayer Leverkusen when Celtic played them back in 2021? November 21. Who was the Bayer Leverkusen manager?
Oh, I can't remember. I'm always bad with managers.
I would never have got this for the life of me, to be fair. I remember him now that I've done the research for the question, but
I can't think.
I feel bad. I feel like you've been shafted a bit, Dylan, not gonna lie.
That's right, I can't. Obviously, it was Javi Alonso after, but I just can't remember. Before.
I'll give you a clue. He's currently the manager of Borussia Mönchengladbach, if you know who their manager is.
Does it help me, Ryan? Unfortunately. Nah, I don't have a clue.
The answer is Gerardo Sione.
Oh, right.
We've done a podcast preview, innit?
Tip of the tongue stuff.
So well done, Kieran. You have 1-2-1, and just as well, because I didn't have a tiebreaker.
That's why I did that.
So that's the quiz. Trust me, next time it won't be prepared by ChatGPT. I just completely forgot there had to be a quiz. Bye. Well done. Well done. So that's it for the main edition of the show. Of course, Thunder Club members will have an extra wee bit of content for you if you are a member of said Thunder Club. Any closing words?
I'm shattered.
Well, we'll try and fire through. It's only 8:20, to be fair. We're doing all right.
No.
Well, it's actually, no, that's bad. 23 minutes back.
Try to think. Closing words. Bring on Wraith Rovers and then Bayern Munich. What a weird sentence that is.
Any closing words, Dylan?
Same as Kieran. Bring on the Wraith and Bayern.
Nice. Right, we'll see you next time. And hopefully it's a good result against Bayern. Cheerio.